Yes.
You are a huge Plymouth Argyle fan.
I am an Argyle fan because my family are, but I'm not very good at noticing where we are in the league or naming
there you go.
players because I spent... Oh, yes. I spent most of the time just looking at boys,
Oh,
frankly.
fair.
That's why I went there, to be honest.
My dad was a director in Plymouth Argyle.
Really?
Yeah. And
Argyle!
Come on, there we go. Argyle!
Yeah.
Come and have a go with thick around it up.
Yeah.
It was all of that, yeah. I hated it. Oh. Sorry.
But Michael, you grew up in Plymouth, and did you cross paths with Dawn in your school days?
I used to see her in a boater.
Yeah.
In your school uniform.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I can't apologise enough.
You look great.
Thank you for lying.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
It's where he was at the boys' school and I was at the girls' school.
Girls.
And I did, sometimes wonder whether the paths would cross.
And they did with you.
They did, sometimes, yeah.
Hello.
Do you remember Good Bodies?
Oh, my God, absolutely.
Good
Good damn bodies.
So Good Bodies was
Yeah.
a cafe that we used to go to,
Yeah.
right, to meet boys. But the way you handled it when you went there was to sit in your own table with your girlfriends. The boys are at the table behind you, ignore them.
Totally.
Buy one Coke, spend an hour, ignore them, don't even look at them, then leave and be absolutely thrilled about it and come back next week to do the same thing. Ridiculous.
I love it.
I love all these connections. So good. Now, as Dawn said, she grew up in Plymouth, and her new novel, Enough, is also set along the beautiful South Coast. It's a heartwarming but emotional story with some difficult adult themes, all about 68-year-old Etta, who brings her family together to have an important discussion about her life. Now, Dawn, as we said, this book deals with adult themes.
It does.
And tell us why you wanted to write this story.
Well, I think as I'm getting older, and I am 68, and I've written Etta as 68 also, partly because I'm lazy and because I didn't have to do any research then. I know the music, I know the politics, and partly because, controversially, I think Etta is a bit young to be making this decision that she makes, because Etta, at the beginning of the book, invites all of her family to come down to the beach, and she announced to them as the sun is rising that by sunset she won't be there anymore. And she's made a decision to excuse her kids from the difficult, prickly last part of life. And she has made this decision thinking that it's extremely selfless to do that. The rest of the book is the argument of her family against this, because they only have 24 hours, as she's explained to them. And when I started to write this book, listen, I'm getting older and I'm deciding not to be afraid of big themes and big scary stuff, because the way to deal with big scary stuff is to write it with joy and to write it with humour, which I hope there's plenty of.
Oh, yeah.
I also feel a little bit of permission to write this theme because I am a child of suicide myself. My dad took his life when I was 19, and I have lived with the various stages of grief about that for my whole life. This story, Etta's story, is very different to my dad's situation. But this is somebody electing to do this. So it's extremely morally questionable. There's a time when suicide was illegal. It's a sin. It's, insurance doesn't pay out. There's so much shame around it. And in tribute to my dad, really, I just refuse to have shame around this subject. I think it's a thing we need to talk about. And so, really, when I started to write the book, I didn't know even what the ending was going to be. I thought, I'll write the arguments of all the characters and see if I can persuade me, Dawn, the writer, and Etta, my main character, away from her decision. But she's very decided. And the other thing is, when you have decided something, if you're a bit of a control freak, no, I'm not. If you make a decision and you feel that you are absolutely right, I think it's very hard to climb down off that mountain, and this is something Etta
And now,
needs
of course,
to learn
we
about.
all need to know
I ain't telling
what
you.
happens.
I ain't telling you.
Well, this is it. I mean, and understandably, as you mentioned, it's a very upsetting and complex subject for a lot of people.
Yes.
But the book does end up being quite positive and life-affirming, would you say?
Well, the whole of the book is a kind of... I set out to write a life-affirming book about end of life, if you like. So lots of people learn lots of things during this book, I hope. And, you know, I'll wait to see what readers say to find out if I have written what I set out to write.
It's a page turner. I mean, I started reading. I said to you,
Yeah,
you did.
I've got early starts at the moment, but I've been staying up late.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh,
You know.
thank you, Angelica.
it's
I
a great
appreciate
read.
that.
No
Proper.
Yeah.
And your listeners love you. And don't forget, Dawn's book, Enough, is out tomorrow.